Okay, so back doing some streaming. Haven't done some streaming in a little while. So I saw Steve posted a screenshot of this design he's been working on for Tailwind UI yesterday, and I thought it'd be fun to build it live on the stream. So let me get to work. Just making sure that I don't have sound going on the other computer. All right. So yeah, Steve's been working on this this thing. It's a design for this project we've been working on, Tailwind UI, which is it's going to be this big like official Tailwind CSS component directory with all sorts of really nice stuff Steve's designed, implemented, by me. So that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully that'll be valuable to people. So you can sign up here if you haven't already and you're interested in learning more about it. So yeah, we're going to be building this and see how it turns out. So I'm trying to think where to start in terms of kind of explaining things. So I think maybe it'd be cool to walk through the code base a little bit. So we have this, it's a Laravel app, and this is what it kind of looks like on the inside. You can come in to different sections and sort of see different components and, flip over and grab the code for that component. Everything's just using Tailwind default stuff, no custom config as much as possible, at least. Any changes I make to the config, I'll probably include those changes with an actual Tailwind CSS update because I want this to be really easy to use without a bunch of customizing going on. So there's this cool little widget here where you can sort of like preview what it looks like at all the different screen sizes, which is kind of neat. So the way that this all works under the hood is I have this components directory in my Laravel app, which is just the components that are so far in the project. So like this component here, this card with image testimonial, sign in and registration form. If you go to forms, sign in registration, a card with image testimonial, here's the component. It's we actually do them as liquid templates just to get decent syntax highlighting so that we can have some YAML formatting at the top for metadata, and then some actual stuff down below in this template tag, which is where like the actual component lives, so we can stick some metadata on that too. Tailwind UI, we're hoping to release an early version of it first week or two of December. We haven't got it all figured out yet, but like the plan is we've had so many people who want early access that I think we're just going to wait till we hit a reasonable critical mass of components, enough stuff that people aren't going to be disappointed, and then we'll open it up and then just keep adding new stuff to it constantly. So people will be able to like request what's missing, send us examples from projects they've worked on or sites that they like, and we can design and implement similar stuff. We're hoping for it to be like a pretty long-term project for us, not in terms of like how long it takes until it's valuable to people, but in terms of where our focus is going to be for a long time. It's something that we want to work on for at least a year or two before we find a new project to work on or something. So we're hoping to stay busy with it for quite a while. So anyways, all that to say, to get started, I've got this little URL that's kind of like a secret URL that only works in development mode. That's just like a really simple table of contents of all the components in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scaffold out a new component. So if we just go like artisan make component, we don't actually have a category for this yet, so I'm just going to put in junk here, and we'll just call this like inbox layout, and then we'll just go and change the file name and stuff for what we need to in this case. So since this is going to be in like a new category, we've created this new category of page layouts. We'll move this file and we'll call it page layouts application UI, because it's an application UI layout, and we'll call it inbox layout. That's good. So this will be name inbox layout, published at, we'll just publish it today so that it actually shows up in the UI for myself at least. Or maybe we'll just leave it as null actually, because you sneaky people are going to memorize this UUID and find a way to access this. And we'll put it in page layouts, application UI. And we need to create a template tag here. The scaffolding command is a little out of date with some changes that we've made with some of the syntax. So this is going to need a data data title, I think. Let's see, elements. Let's see, forms, sign in. We'll just look at one of these. Data title, data preview. So data title is going to be HTML, data preview, true. And this is for some functionality that we've been working on where a single component can have multiple files. So if we ever wanted to have like, here's an example in static HTML, here's like the same example with a little bit of Vue or JavaScript to show you how it works interactively, we can kind of provide both examples in the same component. So now that we have this anyways, we should be able to refresh this and see page layouts, application UI. So here we go. String cannot be parsed as HTML. I wonder why that would be. Probably because there's nothing inside of it. Should be okay now. Okay. All right. So we've got a blank canvas here. And yeah. Tailwind UI is not going to be free. It's going to be a commercial product. Haven't figured out the exact pricing yet, but our plan is something like it's going to be like a one-time purchase. We're not going to do subscription or anything annoying like that. And it's probably going to be comparable to what you might pay for like a really high quality theme. So don't know the exact numbers yet. I don't want to give out a number and then feel like held to it or whatever. But yeah, think price of like a really high quality theme, but with a very permissive license. You can use it on multiple projects, use it for commercial projects, whatever. I'm only using VS Code because I can't get Prettier to format on save in Sublime. And that's too bad, but we'll see. Sublime is amazing, but it does feel like slowly over time, as new tooling and stuff comes out, it's just not like people aren't building plugins for Sublime that work as well for those new tools as they do in other stuff, which is sad, but yeah. Okay, so let's build this thing. So the way that I'm going to start is just by sort of cutting up the different sections. So I think of like this top bar as kind of a chunk, this sidebar as a chunk, and then probably this area as a chunk that will split up into two chunks as well. Because you can imagine that if you flipped over to say like some other sidebar element here, like this whole section might change. So I think it makes sense to split that up. So let's just start by putting together some basic chunks. So we're going to have like a header here. We're going to have like this sidebar area. So we'll just put that in a div. I guess it could be like a nav, but maybe the nav will be the contents inside of it. And then we'll sort of have like our, I guess our main area, and then inside there we'll have a div, and inside there we'll have a div. And that to me feels like the main chunks of the page. So let's start with maybe this top section here. So we're gonna have, and for what it's worth, like this is the first time I've even thought about trying to build this. So this is all just like flying by the seat of our pants here. So we'll have a div that holds this chunk, then we'll have a div that holds this chunk. And then inside of this div, we're going to have a div for the left half and a div for the right half. And here we're going to have an image, and we're going to have some text. So we'll do like Monica White. And we're going to have a chevron. So really this is probably going to be all on a button. And then we'll grab a chevron from Steve over here, copy as SVG. I think he's using a stroke for these icons, which is different than how we've done things in the past. So it'll be kind of interesting to play with here. So let's grab that, paste that in. Okay, let's see how it turns out. That's the background, so we don't need that. There's a stroke here. So let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of the fill. We'll add a class of stroke current, stroke or text gray. Let's just do text like green 500 or something. And we'll give it a size maybe of like H6W6. We'll just see if we can see this show up. Oh yeah, that looks kind of weird. It didn't quite work the way I expected it to. If you notice, there's like a weird thing going on. So maybe we need to do fill none here. Okay, cool. And then we need to get the avatar that was used. So sometimes Steve leaves the way he imports the image sometimes has like an identifier, which is nice because then I can just do this on like Unsplash and see what I can find. Didn't work. Maybe if I search for this, do we get anything? No. All right, so we'll just do like portrait, and if I don't find the exact one that he used in just like a couple seconds, portrait, woman. Ideally, I would just use the one that he's using because it makes it easier for me to compare my design against what he's got. So let's just see if we recognize it. If not, then we'll just grab some other one that looks like a decent avatar photo. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to find it, so yeah, too bad. Too bad. Okay, so let's just grab some other random one that looks like someone being fairly normal. This one seems fine. Here's a kind of a cool trick that you can do with Unsplash. So we don't need an image to be huge, right? We don't want to waste people's bandwidth when they're looking at this. So what I often do is I go here and I see, okay, well, how big is this thing? 36. So like on Retina screens, that's going to be 72. So we could either do 72 or maybe we can even do 36 times 3 because I think like some iPads have, even higher resolution. Or maybe we can even just do times 4 because why not? Because 144 is kind of like a good number. So we can just use like the query string here to change a bunch of stuff. So we can do that at 144. And then if we want to focus on the person's face, we can go fit face area, and then it'll just show the person's face. And then we can say like face pad equals 2, I think. Yeah, right? Isn't that cool? And then we can do like 2.5. Maybe we do like face pad 3. Maybe face pad 4. Yeah, I mean, that seems like it'll probably be fine. So let's just grab this. And then we can stick this in here. I don't think this needs an alt text because we got like text right here explaining the same thing. All right, so Steve had this as what was it again? 36 divided by 4, that's H9, W9, which Tailwind doesn't have, so we'll just have to go with slightly bigger or slightly smaller. Let's try W8. We'll go rounded full. Then on this button, we'll give it a class of flex. It doesn't really matter if it's flex or inline flex, really. Let's just see. Okay, and we got to make sure that the image doesn't get distorted. So let's go object cover. All right. And we're going to need a background color on this whole div of gray 800. So we'll just go class equals BG gray 800. And then for this other section, we're going to want 700. So I might as well just do that while we're here. Okay, and then we're going to want to do flex on this. Okay. I'm sort of surprised we're not seeing the background color, but could just be, it's not really that important, really. Yeah, okay, so we just need to do like, let's do a flex no shrink on this one since we don't want this to get distorted at all. So flex shrink 0. We're going to probably give this an explicit width because we need it to match the sidebar, but we'll get to that later. And this will do flex 1 so it fills the rest of the space. Okay, so there we go. Need some padding. So usually I will, there's like a thing that you can do. What is it? There's like a It's like a key that you can hold that'll show you the distances around something. Is it 2 keys? What's the modifier? Figma modifier measure distance. There's a thing. It's a way to do it. They say Alt, but I don't see that working. Ah, okay. 16 pixels on the edge. That's cool. All right, so I learned how to do that now. So that means we want like px, px4 on this div. So put that maybe here. And then for y, it'll be based on this as well. I need to get this 13, so that's really more like 12. So we'll call that 3. All right. I wonder why there's space there. I think we need to make this flex instead because it's getting line height. Okay. And then we'll do item center. We'll style some of this text. So this is 14 medium and white. So this will be text small, font medium, text white. All right, and there's some space. So if we check this out, that's 15. So it's basically 4 in Tailwind terminology. So we'll give that an ML4. And then we're going to have to figure out the distance for the chevron too. The chevron doesn't look centered. I'm going to think about why. Is it possibly because, let's see, it's probably centered in the artboard and like kind of shouldn't be maybe? I don't know, like I wonder if this should be like shifted down a pixel and this one should be shifted up a pixel or something, like visually centered, optically centered. I think we'll just roll with it though. It'll probably won't look so bad once we have like the considerable space. So that's 49, plus you got to figure that the size of the icon is actually bigger than that. So it's probably more like 40. So we'll say that's ML10. ML10. And what color was that? Gray 400. With Tailwind, I would recommend don't use pseudo elements, just use real elements. Okay, so that'll have to do. I mean, it's fine. See what Steve thinks later. All right, let's do some nav stuff. So maybe we'll stick a little nav item in here. Actually, this, yeah, we'll leave a div there. We'll put the nav inside the div. We'll treat the div as kind of the container and the nav as the contents. So we're going to have some links here, 4 links, mailbox, customers, reporting, manage. So mailbox, customers, reporting. What is it again? This one? Manage. All right, and the default state of these is text small, text white, font medium. So we'll just do all those at once. Text small, text white, font medium, and this will have to be flex. And we'll probably make these inline block so we can do padding and stuff on them properly. Now let's look at this. So that's 12 and 6. All right, so that's going to be px3, py2, and probably we're going to have like either letting tight or letting none. Like we can kind of see, like what's the size of this? So this is 30 tall. So if we look here and we check to see, that's 33. So we could just go with probably normal line height, and py1 is going to get us kind of close. 29. So the only alternative is to go like letting none. If we want to get like bang on, well, we'll just do that. I usually try to avoid using line height as like a hack for getting the height proper. Who's this troll in the chat? I love it. Okay. And let's fix this so we get better formatting. Okay, and let's do the active state, I guess, for the mailbox one. So that's going to have a background of gray 800. We'll just put that here. All right. I kicked that guy out of the chat. All right, so we're gonna want rounded corners on that. What did Steve have on that? 8. So that's gonna be rounded LG. So we'll just do that for all of them, I think, because we're probably gonna want like a hover state that's gonna want to behave the same way. I'm using browser sync, whatever's built into Laravel Mix. Okay, so now this is gonna be flex too. Item center, justify between. That didn't center, eh? That's because of this not being the full height. So let's think. Let's just get rid of this unnecessary wrapper element. Flex 1, BG gray, 700. I'll move that over here. Get rid of that. Get rid of... What did I get rid of? Div, nav. This has to go up. This can go save. All right. All right, cool. So we need some padding on this thing. What's the distance? 24. Okay, so that's basic math, 6. So we'll just do, let's think. Do we want to do padding on this whole thing or just padding on this element? Let's do padding on the whole thing. No good argument why, but it seems okay. All right, and then on this side we have a search and a couple icons. So we'll put an input here, and then those are going to be buttons with icons in them. We'll go grab those icons. So we've got a bell and a question mark. So let's find Steve's bell and question mark. How fast can I find them? Am I blind? Where is the bell? There's also a chance that he doesn't have it here, but I swear that he did. I feel like I'm, there's a question mark. Okay, so there's one. The bell is right there. Okay. Holy smokes. I am blind as a bat. Okay. All right. Let's go and put in, what order were they in here? Bell, then question mark. Okay. So this will be the question mark. We can get rid of this background. This will be fill none. That's fine. This fill can go. This stroke can go. Why does this one have a fill? What is this path, I wonder? That's probably the dot at the bottom of the question mark. All right, sorry, Steve. We're going to do something different with your icon here. Okay, so we're going to take this icon. We're going to group these. We're going to outline them, and we're going to flatten. Oh, man, I closed the window. Now I'm going to lose my undo state. Steve's going to be mad that I messed with his icon. Ugh. Do I? Yeah, the undo state's gone. Shit, Steve's going to be so pissed. Okay, so now it is outlined. So that's okay. So if I grab this and we paste it in here, then I can just treat it as like a fully outlined icon instead of a stroked icon. So now I see everything is using a fill instead of a stroke. So we can get rid of those. I really would be surprised if I need these. We can get rid of this fill. We can say class equals fill current. And what was the text color on this? Gray 400. And then the dimensions are 18 by 18. So I'm curious, what size is this? 20 by 20. So it's going to be slightly smaller than 24. So probably H5, W5. And what does that give us? Yeah, I mean, that's something. All right, so then we'll do the same thing for the bell icon. So this is currently a stroke as well. So we'll just group these, outline, flatten, copy. And then this one I'll undo so Steve doesn't get all ragey at me. Guy's an animal. And I'll stick this in here, just save and get auto formatting going. This can probably go. And then this is just going to be the same classes as the other one. Let's get rid of this fill. Okay. And now we have two icons, and maybe we'll do like a hover thing or something. So actually, let's take these buttons and we'll go class is text gray 400, hover text gray 200 or something like that. And then we'll just get rid of these ones. Just have it match based on the button. So now we get like a little hover style. What are you doing right there with the icons? There's no real issue with them. Just Steve designs them in Figma. I need to export them from Figma. Figma exports them with a bunch of like metadata and attributes that I don't actually need in the code. I want to be able to use like Tailwind's utilities to style them. So I remove any like hard-coded sizes or colors that come from the design tool, and then just use CSS to apply those instead. All right. Okay, let's do this search input. So this is going to have a background color of gray 900. It's going to have small 400 text and probably a border radius of 8. Didn't mean to tab that. Okay, so don't need this. Don't need input type text. This should probably be input type search, but if I remember right, you can't style input type search properly in many browsers, so most people just don't do it that way. Yeah, text small. This is a placeholder, so we can say placeholder gray 400, text white probably. And then we'll get this magnifying glass icon. Let's see if we can find it faster this time. Yeah, there it is. This is probably, yeah, it's stroked. So we'll do outline stroke, flatten, copy as SVG, undo. Back here, just grab that. And this input's actually going to need to be in a, we'll make it a span so we can absolutely position things properly. I'm still getting used to using Prettier for everything. I still try to like format things myself when I don't need to. So we'll just grab these kind of styles. I think this will be text gray 400. We'll make this class relative. Input, we're going to say width full. Probably do block. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so this is going to be absolute. And actually, we'll probably put this in a span and position the span absolutely instead. So we can use padding to position this properly. So the absolute here, inset y 0 left 0. And then we're going to want to give this why do we not see that? I would have expected we could see it. Okay, so we got this. Let's make sure that we're doing our Flexbox stuff here first. Flex item center. All right, progress. What is the actual color Steve used for that? That looks too light now. 500. Okay. Rounded LG, not rounded full on the box. Yeah, good call. Okay, so what does that give us? Okay, so let's do some padding and stuff. So that is 12 from the edge, but it's probably actually more like, we'll call it 12, but I think it's not actually going to be quite 12. So we'll do like a PL3 here to get that moved over. PL2, we'll have to eyeball this, I think. And then for the vertical padding, we'll probably want to do that here. A PY1 or something. What am I doing? It's because this needs to be not a span. Let's make this a div. Oh, the input needs to. No. I'm still surprised that this isn't. It's because this is just taller, I guess. That's okay. So let's do some placeholder text here. And then we can actually like figure out some stuff. Okay, so let's just do the padding on this element. So we'll start with like PX4, like PY2, and just see what happens. That's too big. PY1, letting tight. Let's Let's see what Steve's actual height on this is. 40. So we could just like measure the height. I don't really love that approach. This is only 25 tall. Okay, so we have quite a bit of room to play, actually. It still seems like huge, even though that's only 37 tall. Is that really how tall it is in Steve's thing? I mean, I guess so. Okay. That's fine. And we'll have to change this to PR4, but with like PL12 at least, probably. PL6? 10? One, yep. Yep. Just on a video. 8? 10? Is 10 going to be the one? And then we'll have to center this magnifying glass. So this will end up being flex items center. And tough one. I feel like PL8 is not enough, but PL10 is too much. Is 8 closer, at least? I do have a 9 added, but I've been trying to resist using it. It's unfortunately good, so we'll have to use 9. Okay, so then his is wider, so we're going to want to give ours a width. Let's just see like what his width is, 260. I think we have a 256 in Tailwind, so we could do on this, we could say like W 50 or 64, I think. Yeah. And then we can add some space between those. So that's 31, which is really when you account for the padding, probably more like 28, which I don't think we really have. So we'll just have to try 6 and 8 and see which one looks best. Let's try with 6 to start on both of these. Yeah, I'll probably add 9 native to Tailwind. Like anything that I'm using here, I'm going to end up including in Tailwind by default so that people don't have to customize their Tailwind UI stuff. I think we need to go try 5 maybe. Maybe even like 4 on this one. Here feel like I'm kind of deviating from Steve's design, just kind of eyeballing it, but I think that actually looks good. There's basically 0 chance that we get to making this responsive today, by the way, because we have so much to build still. Let's do some hover states for this. Maybe we'll do like a slightly lighter background on hover. So let's just grab these. Let's say like hover BG gray 600. Oh, really? Is that the next one? 700? I thought 700 was the background already. Oh, yikes. Tailwind. What a joke. So the jump from 600 to 700 in Tailwind is significant. That's what I'm learning. I guess we could try 800. No? Bummer. 600 is probably the best one. We could do something fancy with opacity, but I don't really want to do that. But this kind of tells me that we should probably have a little bit of space between each one. So why don't we do that for these? Like ML2 or something. Yeah, something like that. Seems okay. For this width, let's keep it at like Tailwind's like 1280 breakpoint maybe. Or just like as long as it's, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Just type in 1280. And just relax here. Yep. Okay, cool. I'll add transitions to Tailwind before Tailwind UI is released. I'm still trying to set up a a call with a guy that I met who's really good at animation to get some help fine-tuning some values. So I'm kind of postponing merging anything in until I've worked on perfecting some easing curves with this guy. Okay, so what does Steve got for like the width on this? Where did we even get our width from? Is it just happening based on the width of the button? I think it is, based on our margin and stuff. So this is 240, 56 times 4 is 224. So we can either go 256 or 224 on this thing. 224, is 224 going to be noticeably different? Like, I think we're going to probably want to do 256. All right, so let's go up to this div. We'll give this a width of 64. And then we'll probably rework how this button works so that this is just always pinned to the right. So we actually don't really need this like crazy margin here. Like maybe we'll just give it like a ML6 or something. So that like, yeah, we don't even need that much. If you wanted to imagine like, okay, well, how should this look in a world where this was in a smaller space? What's like the minimum gap necessary between these things for it to look good? I feel like it's probably something more like that. But we'll stretch it out. So what we'll do is we'll say, I guess ML auto would do it, as long as this button was full width. So if we go block width full, yeah. And then here it's almost like we'd want to do MX4 in this case, even though that kind of, usually I try to just do left margins and top margins, but the reason I'm doing this is so that we can use ML auto here, but there's still going to be at least a gap of 4 on the side, because that's what 2. So we could say ML4, MR2, and that way there's always going to be at least a gap of 2 on the side, but it's going to push itself auto at the end using ML auto. So another way we could do this is by wrapping this in another span and then using justify between, but this will be fine. Okay, so now let's add our, I don't know, what about, yeah, should we do like some cool focus style? Let's do a cool focus style on the input. Let's say focus BG white, focus text gray 900. And what does that give us? And we'll change the placeholder color on focus too. Focus placeholder gray 700 or 600 maybe? I don't know. 600. And we'll get rid of the stupid glow, because now that we have a proper focus state, I think that's fine. Okay, I like that. Let's add our sidebar. All right, so we'll add the sidebar. We're going to make the sidebar the same width as that button at the top. So we're going to give this a class of W64. BG gray 100. And I'm trying to think about how we want this UI to work. Like, do we want... I'm guessing like we're probably going to want this to be like a scroll region, this to be a scroll region, and this to be a scroll region. So I think what we'll do is we'll take this div, we'll give this a height that matches the screen height, flex call, and then this div, that we're going to have another div here actually that holds both these sections. And this will be flex 1 so that it stretches, and then this header is going to have to be flex shrink 0 to make sure that it doesn't get compressed. But now we should be able to see, yeah, this div is like the full height. And now if we give this a display of flex 2, we should see we get this new sidebar up here. So that's good. And then This has no background. It's just like that BG Gray 200 at the back. So I think that's where it's coming from. So we'll probably give the content area that background color just because. And then we can kind of put in some content for this stuff. It's friggin' toasty in my office here. All right, so let's add some stuff here. Okay, so we're gonna have a nav here. And this is probably like technically like an H2. Because I've been looking at how a lot of apps do their heading hierarchy, like apps that have a strong accessibility focus at least. And a lot of them will use an H1 that's sort of like the site name that's like invisible. So that would make this an H2 if we wanted to do it that way. So we'll say mailboxes. And I'll have some links here. So we'll have nav or inbox. That's going to have all sorts of junk inside of it. So let's just do one of these first. And then we can copy it for the other ones. Okay, so first of all, let's do this mailbox as text. So it's going to be text extra small, font semi-bold, text gray 600. Text extra small, font semi-bold, text gray 600. Okay, it's going to be uppercase. Probably tracking wider. Maybe only tracking wide. Yeah, it looks too wide. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so then we have some padding. I think we'll use negative margin to get these styles working. So 24. So that's what, 6? And what was the vertical padding? 30. Plus you've got to figure in there's some line height, so we'll see how it goes. Let's just start with P6 on this around the board. Yeah, we can get awesome Tailwind CSS linked on the site. Message me about it on Discord and we'll figure out a place for it. I feel like we could probably find a place for that sort of thing in like the resources section or like the community section or something. Yeah. Okay, so now what's next? This inbox thing. Okay, so let's grab this inbox icon. See how fast we can find it. Where is it? Here. Bam. All right. We'll zoom in here. We will outline, flatten, copy SVG, undo, so Steve can edit the stroke later if he wants. RIP question mark icon. Grab this. Okay, so we're going to have this. Delete, 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 delete. And then we're going to have some text that says inbox. We're going to have something over there. That kind of tells me that we're going to have a span probably that's going to wrap up these two so we can sort of style these as a group. And since we probably are going to want to be able to style the word inbox, we'll probably have a span there. And then we'll have a span over here that contains this badge. So that's going to just have the number 6 in it. All right, so this is text small, font medium, text gray 900. So we'll probably do the text small up here, font medium. We'll do the color on here because we're going to want to style the icons differently. And this icon is going to be 700. So that'll be fill current text gray 700 H16. So it's probably going to be 5 if you count for the padding built into the icon. Shit. See how this icon is like, it's inset a little bit from the text? Oh, fine. Steve does that here too. Okay, so that's fine. That pleases me. Let's bump these up to 6 because Steve's looks a little bigger than ours. That'll have to be close enough. All right, so let's do, we'll do like a flex item center on this bad boy. This span will be like an inline flex. I don't know, it doesn't even matter because it's in a flex container. We'll do a justify between to push the badge off to the right. We'll add some space next to this text. What does that do for us? Too much? That looks reasonable. And here we've got text extra small, gray 700, semi-bold. Oh, poop, wrong one. Text XS, font, semi-bold, text gray 700. Is that what I said? Where is it? 700, and then we've got this background, which is 300. So we're going to want to do a BG gray 300, a rounded full, because it's like a pill shape, and then we're going to have to add some padding for sure. Probably like a PX4. Is that too much? It looks like a tiny bit too much. And then probably a PY1, probably an inline block so that padding works properly. Probably letting tight. Letting none. What do we got to do to get that to look right? Let's measure 20 by 36. Ours is not even 32, but it is 20. Okay, so maybe if we bump up the padding, that will help. 39. Here's a question. Would we want the width to change depending on how much text is in there? I feel like probably no. So that means we could probably just give it a fixed width. So we can go like W9, text center, no padding. Okay, so I guess we'll just roll with that. And then we're going to want a background of gray 200 on the whole selected item. Okay, with a rounded full, I think. And I think we need to do some negative margin. Negative MX4, is that going to be too much? Yeah, negative MX3 probably. And then like obviously we need padding too. That's a 10. And that's 24. So that's a 14 pixel difference, which is like a 3-ish. So I'll also do like a PX3 on this and probably like a PY, at least a PY1. Oh no, Steve's not using a fully rounded here. He's just using rounded LG. Okay, no problem. This is probably impossible to see what I'm doing on that stream because of how subtle the contrast difference is. All right, so let's add a bit of margin here. I'm gonna wrap all these links. Well, I guess there's only one so far. I'm gonna wrap it in a div so that we can style the div with some spacing instead of just arbitrarily putting it on the one link. That looks like too much. How's that? Could probably go a hair more. All right, so there's that. So now if we just clone that a few more times and replace some content, we should be able to kind of get something decent here. So how many total does Steve have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. All right, so now we got a bunch of inboxes. Probably there's some space between them, yeah, so let's do that. So we'll just kind of grab this, 2, 3, 4. Did I miss one? No. Okay. Empty 4, 2. Just a guess. We can always change that. Okay, so let's, none of the other ones are going to have a background color. So why don't we just make that like a hover background color for all these ones? Okay. And we need a flag. Where's the flag? There it is. Probably need to fillerize this. Outline, flatten, copy, SVG, SVGO. And I think we'll probably just need to grab the path from inside of it, even just like this D. See if that gives us a flag. Yep. We'll have to change the colors on these too, but we'll do that kind of last. So then we need this like drafts icon, pencil and pad. Where are ya? There you go. Outline, flatten, copy the artboard, SVGO. Oops. And before I forget, I should undo my stuff so I'm not making Steve angry. Yeah. Oh, was I able to get this back to... That's partially a stroke. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we're on this one. So we can just grab the path contents again, since all the classes and everything are otherwise the same. What does that get us? Okay, we got the pad. Now we need this people icon. So there's this one, which isn't the one that Steve used. So does he have another one in this set? Or am I going to have to export that? Let's see. Here it is. I said outline stroke. Okay, outline stroke, flatten. All right. This is really monotonous. Imagine how much better this would be if I just had all these icons prepared. But this is my day. This is what I do. I literally export and manipulate SVGs all day, basically. All right, 2 more to go. Let's see if we can do them quick. All right, so we need a check mark. I know where that one is because I was looking at that earlier. That one's up here. Outline, flatten, copy SVG, paste into SVGO. Copy, head back over to code, jump down here, paste this in, grab the path, copy the path, replace the path, scroll back over, delete this stuff, head back to Figma, undo all my changes, head back here, see that we need the kind of like box icon thing. So where's that one? I feel like I saw that over on this side somewhere. Where's like the box, this thing? All right, so we'll zoom in here. We'll grab this, outline and flatten, copy SVG, copy SVG, undo for a while, SVGO, paste, copy, back to code, scroll down, grab the D, give it the D. See what we get. All right, now we can change some text. So we need to change this to flagged drafts assigned closed junk. Flagged drafts assigned closed junk. All right, now we need some colors. So this is going to be gray 700 and this is going to be gray 500. So let's just start here. If we just grab this, that should get us a little closer. And then if we grab this one, and then we can just kind of go through and like delete the badge for the ones that don't need badges. So what did Steve do there? He had a badge for drafts and assigned, so we can get rid of the badge for the other ones. So no badge. No badge. This was like, I think, 1 and 2. And then flagged can have no badge too. Is this truly prettier to you? I don't know. But we accept it. It's not needed in Figma. It's just like I want to work with outlined SVGs so that I can use the fill attribute instead of the stroke attribute. And Steve illustrated all these icons using strokes. So you can see here, like, he could change the width of the stroke, right? So what I've been doing is I've been taking this, outlining it. So now there's no longer a stroke, and it's actually just like a solid shape with a background. So this way I'm using the fill attribute instead of the stroke attribute, which doesn't really matter. But it's been convenient for me because at least then it's consistent everywhere instead of having some things that are fill, some things that are stroke. You can't make everything with only strokes, but you can make everything with only fills. So if I normalize to fills, it just makes my job like a little bit more straightforward. All right, so this looks like pretty sick, I think. Let's compare that to Figma. This is kind of my workflow a lot of the time. I just kind of take this, I put it near the edge, and then I just kind of like put it here, and I just kind of look to see, okay, so Steve's got like obviously way more white space. So we can just add, looks like we can actually add a little bit of vertical padding and probably a little bit of margin to each one of these. So let's just grab this, we'll just select all of those. Actually, I'll select all of these. Now let's see. So that actually got us like much closer. I would say like that's actually probably it's actually maybe too much, but I can't think of a way to because the icon is big, it's kind of like just the way it has to be. Because we don't have like a PY 1.5, and we can't like cheat it with line height either. So we have to just decide how we want to do it. Steve, why have you done this to me? Do we want the bigger click area, or do we just want to use margin? I mean, like, this is pretty close in terms of the overall shape. It's just these friggin' click targets are huge. I don't know. I'll leave it like that. Maybe Steve will like it. All right. Now I got this folders section at the bottom. So I'm just going to start by grabbing like this. And folders. Go away. Okay. And we'll do like an MT4 here at least. Probably 6. Okay. Maybe even 8. Yeah, that's good. And then we've just got a couple links here. So let's maximize this again and bring back the UI so we can see things. Let's see. So we've got text small, gray 700, font medium. So let's just get these names in. Refunds, discounts, and bugs. $369 of you people watching. Have the patience to watch this crap. You have earned my respect. All right. Do some spacing between those. Let's see. This is like 19, so that's with line height. It's probably like 16. So we'll just do like an MT4. And we'll get rid of the first one. What does Steve have here? It looks. Do you think this gap is a little bit more than? No, it's the same. Interesting. Okay, so I mean, like what we have here, I guess is pretty close, unless this is MT3. Okay, so let's change that to MT4 too. Maybe something looks a little funky. All right. We'll make it so like this scrolls independently, I think. Let's move this off to the right and see. This is useful to have here. How much width do we have? This is still wide enough. Okay, cool. So moving right along. Whew. Probably we want some sort of hover state for these, but I think it'll be more interesting for us to like get some of this other stuff in. Okay, so now in the content area, we've got 2 more columns. This column is 319. Unfortunate. We'll figure it out though. Okay, so class equals. This is going to be flex. We're going to have this sorted by date thing. So we'll just do a div here. We'll just say sorted. Imagine I could spell. We have this chevron, which we'll just copy from here. This one was using a stroke. Yeah, let's get the non-stroke one. So there's our chevron. We'll just do the same thing as before. Outline, flatten, copy, SVG, undo, 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 back to SVGO, paste, dude, grab. So let's just grab this, paste this here, delete this, save. Then this can be fill current, this can go away, this can go. Then we can copy this. Should be the same up there, yep. Okay, so sorted by date. We're gonna have a thing over here. This is text, probably extra small. So font size 12, semi-bold, 600. So we'll just do that here, I guess. Text extra small, font semi-bold, text gray, 600. Is this particular UI going to be open sourced? Yeah, I might just like put up the HTML for this one. Not totally sure. We are going to make a bunch of the stuff free either way. And since I built this one on the stream, like I don't see why not. I might not do it right away. I'll talk to Steve about it first and make sure that he's comfortable with it. But yeah, I think that would be okay. What am I looking at here? Okay, so this is going to be a flex container. We're going to have a thing here. This will probably be a button since it has to like change when you click it. I'm not sure what this button is supposed to do. Refresh or something maybe? Seems cool. It'll be a button though also. So let's make this a div. Move this up. Oh, okay. Whew. Button. This button will be a flex container. This chevron is going to have to be a much different color. Gray 500. See what the size looks like. I mean, I don't know. It seems decent, really. Yeah, it looks like Steve used the same chevron on both. Okay, so let's find this clickety liney icon thing. Clickety lines, sort ascending. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Outline, flatten, copy as SVG, undo the crap out of things. Alright, this SVG stuff, it sure is tiresome, isn't it? Delete, 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 delete. What's the general size of this? 20, so probably 24, so H6W6, gray 500. So, yeah. H6W6 fill current, text gray 500. Okay, this is going to have to be a flex container. And this is going to need a width. Let's just start with like width 64. I guess 65 is not a thing, obviously. Like this will probably be, it is a little bit narrow. Poo. Let's go with width full, max width XS. I feel like this trick doesn't work in flex containers. Flex grow? What am I doing here? Flex, width full. If I get rid of this, what happens? This, what happens? Do I need to do flex 1 on this one maybe? For this to work? I'm surprised by what I'm seeing. If we get rid of this, I really would have thought that by giving this a max width and telling it to grow, just for argument's sake, let's just do like BG red 500 here. Is it because this doesn't have flex 1? All right. So we might not even need to have this. We do. Do we need width full? No. Yeah, so let's keep all those just to be safe. This looks like a good size to me. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Steve's. It kind of comes like to the reporting section-ish. All right, so what's Steve got going on here? He's got like some borders. How should we do these borders? I kind of feel like we should do a border on this element. Because the border's on the outside, so we can't. So we'll do a border on the inside of this element. I guess I'll just do a border on the left and right of this whole element. So it's got a 1 pixel border, and it is gray 300. Okay, so this div is going to have border L, border R. All right. And it looks like we got some padding here of like X4, PX4, PY2, I don't know. Just start with a guess. Let's hide this UI for a second. Do the old testeroni. I mean, that looks like pretty close, really. Okay. We'll give every one of these... No, we'll give this a bottom border because you can imagine that this scrolls on its own and you'd want that border to stay there. So this will have a bottom border. Border B. Okay. And then let's style one of these little inbox things. We'll start with like the inactive state and go from there. So after this, we're going to have a div. It's going to have a bunch of crap in it. I guess these are all going to be big links. So we'll do a block link with BG white. And then we're going to have here's like a semantic HTML question for people in case anyone is really opinionated. I never know what element to use for things that are like just pieces of text that aren't paragraphs. Like, would you use a P tag for this and this and this and this? Or would you just like put this right inside of a span, right inside of a div? I don't know. Appreciate any opinions on that. I'm curious what people do. I think you can do div inside of an anchor tag. Let's look that up. Can you put a div in an anchor? Yeah, HTML5 says it's cool. All right. Perfect. So we'll do a div here. We'll do a span. We'll do another span. We'll just kind of do it simple here. So we'll do Gloria Robertson 2 days ago. Steve's coming over to hang out at 3 o'clock, so in an hour. So let's see how much further we can get. All right, text small, semi-bold, gray 900. What does that give us? Okay. And then this is probably Same thing, but regular 600. Here's like a thing that's truly not prettier, but the fix is to just add some white space. Okay, padding. What do we got? Distance to here, 27. Awkward. We'll call it 24. Sorry, Steven. PX6. And then Y is probably going to be like 2, maybe 3 at the most. Let's start with 3. Okay, and now this div is going to be flex, justify between. I should just really rely on autocomplete. Okay, and then we're going to have another kind of section underneath. We'll just say refund. Yeah, I am curious, like, if anyone has like good opinions on the best way to mark up like this element in particular. Just looking through the chat here. No one seems to have. A couple of people have some opinions, but yeah. Span. P. Someone saying there's some space between this icon and this text that I missed, I think. Tiny bit, maybe. Yeah, could do a little bit more space there. Let's do it. Oh yeah, we had auto here, so let's try like 2 and see what we get. 1. Yeah, I like that. All right, we'll just go with a P for this and a P for this too. Just P everywhere. This is pretty dark. Doing like multi-line clamped text in HTML is basically truly a horrible thing to want to try and do. So we'll just pretend that you're doing that somewhere else. So this is text small, text gray 900. And this is text small, text gray 600. Okay, I mean this is already like not looking too bad really. What do we got for like spacing differences? Well, definitely a little bit above this paragraph. Maybe above the other stuff too. Just grab this. I mean, like that's pretty close really. I think I would be comfortable calling that done. Like maybe we add a little bit more bottom padding. So maybe it's like PT3, PB4. I always feel a little uncomfortable having like asymmetrical padding, but yeah, like that looks pretty good. Okay. So here's what I think we should do. I'm thinking maybe do I just copy and paste this a bunch of times and then like we work on the scrolling, we don't really worry about this active state and then move on to this and maybe come back to the active state? Or should we just plow through it? I'm going to do, let me just add a border to the top of this for a second. And we'll duplicate it a few times. Just get like enough for it to wrap. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's get some scrolling stuff working. Like, Let's get it so that if we were on this screen size, like the sidebar and stuff would all scroll independently. This is always a fun exercise in personal torture. So sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's like a total nightmare. So let's just try overflow Y auto. And overflow hidden here. Okay, so there's that one. That wasn't so bad. And then for the list of messages, that's going to be this div. Overflow Y auto. Is this just going to work maybe? No, that's not going to work. So we'll have to go up to this div and just add overflow hidden and see what the hell happens. Nope. Okay, so let's think. This is usually like the pattern. You just like start going up the tree, adding overflow hidden until it starts magically working. Overflow hidden. I would have thought this would have worked. Scrolling stuff is a nightmare. Okay, so this does not scroll. This scrolls. So what is the difference? I mean, let's say that we change this to overflow Y auto. It's not going to give us the behavior we want, but do we get something? Okay, so that's like progress, right? If I get rid of it on this one, so say I was to get rid of it here, does this still scroll? Yeah, so that's like, that's promising. Okay, so let's think. I feel like I should be able to get rid of this, add it here, and have it just work. But it doesn't. So maybe we need to take this, and we need to make this flex call, and make this flex 1, and give this flex strength 0. And then what do you think happens now, fellas? Do you think it works? Why? I could not confidently tell you. So let's recreate our steps here. So we don't need this overflow hidden. We do need this wrapper element to be a flex container in the column direction. Flex call. We need this to be flex shrink 0 so it never gets squished. We need this to be flex 1 so it kind of is forced to the right height. And yeah, now we're in business. So there's our stupid scrolling stuff. So let's do this section now. Fuck me, do I have to export icons again? Okay, well, put colors, bro. Not sure what you mean. That's a very confusing sentence. Yeah, you could make the sort button position sticky. That's definitely a way to do it. I mean, this seems fine though. Although it probably doesn't work in any browsers. Okay, so let's add a div for the icon bar, a div for the title, maybe like a div that holds kind of both of them. div. And then here we're going to have a couple divs too. I think technically you could call these articles. Emails are kind of valid on their own. All right, back to the email or the icon song and dance. So we need a back icon and a tag icon. Copy as SVG. Wait till the torturous work happens where me and Steve have to go through and like export all these icons in like a proper set for people to use. That's when life gets really painful. We have to spend like 2 full days just like doing the same thing. I'm sure we could automate it, but still torture. Where's the tag icon? Here. Group, outline, group, flatten, outline, outline, group, flatten, remove the stroke, outline, no, let's do it in a different order. Sometimes you gotta do things in a different order. Outline, this is a dark situation. What do we have to do here to get this to work? Let's get rid of the grouping maybe. This is already a stroke, so let's just outline this one. Why is that happening? Outline stroke. That is not the way that stroke should be getting outlined. What is happening with that? Figma is nice because we can collaborate on it, and it's cross-platform, and the performance is like 600 times better than Sketch. Why would that not be outlineable? I wonder. Sometimes it's like something to do with the way that you have like this stuff set up. You know? But in this case, it's like, yeah, so you can see like something's happening weird there. But I don't know why this wouldn't like if this one it can be outlined, which it can. Why would this one not be able to be outlined? You know, it's like the same thing. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to accept that it's screwed up and treat it as a special case, and I'll make Steve fix it for me because he'll be able to figure it out. So we'll get rid of this. Get rid of the stroke color. Get rid of the fill color. This will have to be, this will need its own class. Grim. I guess we'll do the stroke stuff on here too. So we'll do fill current, text, gray, whatever the hell it is. Looks like 600. And this will be stroke current, text, gray, 600. And then we'll just do the class like H6W6, just kind of make sure that this is working at all. Yeah, I mean, it's down there. It's fine. Okay. that person icon, which we already grabbed that for assigned. So let's just copy it from there. The folder icon. Folder. So let's see. See, that one's fine. It's just that tag. Sometimes with these things, you just have to like redraw it again. And it'll just work. And oh, Steve's here. Is he gonna fix it? What's he doing? He's doing something. Oh, I'm distracted. What was I looking for? We got the folder. Did I put that into SVGO? I think probably, right? I probably did it. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Next is the ... So we'll just grab these ones. So grab this union, outline, flatten, copy, SVG. Paste it in. All right. Delete, delete, delete. Delete, 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 delete. Just grab this and stick it on each one of these, just so we have like a decent starting point. Okay, and what did we say? It's 600 now. All right, so there's our icons. We also have an up chevron and a down chevron. So we can grab our down chevron from up here somewhere. And we'll grab our up chevron as well. All right, back to SVGO. Paste that in, delete this junk. It's probably 600, copy, paste, save, delete, 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 delete. Save. All right, we got some stuff. So now we need to flexboxify some stuff. Flex, item center, justify between, dot flex, dot item center, move all these SVGs up except for the last two. Dot flex, dot item center. Move these two up. These probably all have to be buttons too, so that's dark. These look like they need to be bigger. What's going on with this dude? Is someone being annoying? Oh, I'll kick him out. Get the hell out of here. All right. Sorry about that. Looks like Steve's actually using a slightly different chevron here. Like it's got a different stroke. I'm going to have a stroke if I have to export another SVG. All right. where's all this padding coming from? Ah, it's because I added that for no reason. Okay. So this div is going to have a background color of gray 100. Okay. We're going to have some padding around it. Looks like 6 maybe on all sides. Maybe 5 and 4. Looks aggressive. Are these icons way bigger than Steve's or something? No. It is like a pretty big panel, I guess. Let's do the old measure-y trick. I mean, I guess we're like pretty close there, really. We're a little bit short even, but I'm okay with that. We need a bottom border of 300. Which is the default, so that's okay. We need some space between these icons, and we need to wrap each one in a stupid button. What is the thing for that wrap button? Wrap button. I think I can actually just do, no, this one. Wrap button. Wrap button. Wrap button. Oh, wrap but. Wrap button. Okay. Now, is there any line height problems occurring here? I always worry that like when you put something in a button, because they're in a flex container, it looks okay. So I guess we'll just add a little bit of margin to the left of each one of those. It looks like pretty considerable. 32. Which is probably more like closer to 24 really, so more like 6. Let's do class ML6. Fat fingers. Then this was probably not as much, but we'll see. Probably only like 2 for this one. Yeah, it's annoying about the stroke versus fill thing. I have to think about the best way to handle that at the end of the day. Because these look crappy compared to what it looks like in Steve's design. Like it's the same stroke as here, even though they're bigger, which is nice. But for now, this will be okay for what we're doing. Okay, so another chunk here with a white background. Let's do like the PX5 so that it matches above. And what did we say? Reply student discount. This will probably be like a heading, I guess. I don't know. And then we'll have like a, I guess like a section over here with 2 things in it. 1428 active badge. Flex items center justify between. The old title bar trick. And then we've got font size 20, so I think that's extra large, gray 900. Okay. Vertical padding, probably at least 4. All right, seems pretty close. One thing I always like to check is what happens if like this is really long and has to wrap and looks stupid. You know, like what would I want to happen? Would I want it to wrap, or would I want it to just like truncate? I feel like I'd probably want it to truncate, so I'm just going to say truncate. Oh, shit. That's a bummer. This is a problem. Let's see what happens if we add flex shrinks 1 to this. Nothing. Let's see what happens if we add flex shrink 0 to this. Okay, so we got to figure out a way for this to not shrink, which using our little max width trick, like that's probably going to be hard. We might need to give this a width of 0. Guys, do they come any smarter than me? Width 0. That's our secret sauce. Width 0. Man, what a great little trick. All right, and then down here we'll say class equals flex shrink 0. This will be text base gray 900, so that's probably already correct. I think we should probably do a little bit of left margin here though, just so things aren't like so close. We'll figure this bad boy out. Okay. Green 200, small green 900, semi-bold. Class text small, font semi-bold, text green 900, BG green 200, rounded full, letting none, PX2, PY1. Just a guess. That's pretty close, I would say. Yeah. I feel like that text is bigger than Steve's. $14. It's okay. We'll just roll with it. We need some space though, for sure. Okay, so let's do ML4 maybe. ML3. ML2. Yeah, I don't know. It seems fine. Especially like once you're on full screen. Like this looks like pretty dope, I think. Looks pretty pro. Okay, we're making progress. Let's move this to the bottom so we can. Oh, man, I need a huge monitor. I mean, I did reduce the resolution for this stream, so that isn't doing me any favors. Let's just keep that hidden maybe, and we'll work on it this way. Okay, so we're gonna have a shadow of what, MD around this whole section. I'm guessing it's the section that starts here. Yeah. Is there shadow leaking out the sides here? What do you think? Do you see a shadow there? I feel like I see a shadow there. Let's inspect. If we get rid of this, oh yeah, there's a shadow on the sides. Oof, gruesome. Let's take this middle panel and give it a z-index. Relative. All right. Oh no, didn't work. Oh, wrong. Did I put it in the wrong spot? I think I put it in the wrong spot. You want to hear? Yeah, that looks like it did it. No, it didn't. It's this that needs. Okay, so it's position relative. I mean, let's give it a z-index and see. So, relative. This shadow should not be poking out there. If we give this relative, if we give this its shadow back, it's still poking out. You give this a z0. Something is behaving oddly here. Don't make me do this. Don't make me type z20. Oh no, did that do it? What happens if I get rid of the z-index? Does it change at all? Yeah, it seems to get even like worse. What the heck? It's just in this section. Okay, here's the real question. Am I just like losing my mind? Because I swear that I am seeing a shadow appear right here. So why would that be happening? This element is positioned above this one. Like, so just for curiosity's sake, say I give this like a negative margin left of 16. Okay, so this will be a good way to like quickly verify what's going on. Somehow it's showing up on top of the thing behind it. So if I give this like a is that the problem? Okay. Good catch. Okay, so if we give this an explicit BG Gray 200, and yeah, that looks like it fixed it, right? Oh, buddy, you're a legend. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Teamwork. Unreal. Okay. Let's add a card. Let's do a little bit of a padding here. What do we got? It's like 10. Awkward one, Steve. That's okay. Class P3. And then we'll make a card. Okay, so we'll just do a little class equals bg white rounded lg shadow, something like that. This will be like a MT2 probably, something like that. Still can't see them, so we should put some content in them. So we'll just go like, I don't know if this is technically a heading. I'm going to call it a div with a p tag in it that says span Joe Armstrong span wrote, and then over here we'll have a div with a span and an image, and we'll have yesterday 7:24 a.m. We'll see if we can find that dude's face. We'll just pick like a different portrait. Portrait man. Something that's like decently avatar-ish looking. Let's go with this guy. I like this guy's got a good smirk. Strong smirk. 36. What do we do? 144 for the other one? So let's do 144. We'll go fit face area. And face pad equals like 4 we used last time. Kind of depends on the image, but we'll just see what we get. And we can go with like a lighter face pad, maybe like a 3. 3.5. This looks like the guy that I want to be running my customer support inbox. Just doesn't seem like he gives a fuck. That's what I want. H9, W9. Rounded full. Object cover. Something like that. There he is. Okay, and text small, text gray 600. All right, and then we got a lot of flexiness happening here. So we'll do flex, items, center, justify between. We'll do flex, items, center. Okay, and then we'll do some significant padding here. So that's 40, so that's 10 on the left and right probably. And then 27, so we'll just eyeball that. So these articles are going to have like PX10, PY6, probably something like that. Is that too much? Let's get these font sizes right first, and then we'll see. So there's going to be text large, semi-bold, and then it's going to be 900 and 600. Okay. We need some space next to the avatar. A little bit more maybe. Let's see what this looks like without DevTools. It's a little easier to judge the spacing. Okay. And then we're going to have a paragraph here. I guess we'll just put it in a div. We'll just do, let's grab this text for now. Oh, whoops. And this will have like an MT6 probably or something. And this is gray 800, text small. You can imagine that like this is going to be like HTML with multiple paragraphs and stuff. Oops. I mean, looks like we need some more padding at the bottom. We can do that. PT6, PB8 maybe? Peanut butter and 8. Okay, and then we'll just duplicate all these contents. Just see, like, do we get like something somewhat sensible looking? I forgot my padding on this article, so we'll just do this. Doot, save, doot. MT2. How's that compared to Steve's? That's pretty close. Maybe he's got a tiny bit more padding between them. Let's test something. Someone's saying we might have done something messed up. Seems to work okay. All right, so let's replace Joe with some other messages here. Grab Monica's avatar again. We'll throw Monica down and into message 2. And we'll say Monica White. Okay. And let's just dump some more content in there, because we can just do some lorem ipsum crap like Steve did here. Expand out, delete, paste. PDAG. PDAG. We'll have to do some this is going to be like not an accurate representation of what this would look like in a real help desk or inbox app, because you have to have some sort of class that you'd stick here that's kind of like email content, you know, so that it like styled all the contents because they'd be coming from the database. But we'll just kind of cheat a little bit for now. $900, $800. Did we set it to 800? Yeah, we did. Looks lighter in Figma for some reason. And then, is this not bold? It's probably semi-bold. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm noticing. Okay. Then Joe can say some lorem ipsum stuff too, I guess. Copy these lines. Prettier is not adjusting my stuff. Shouldn't this be indenting? What's going on here? Prettier. Unexpected character. Okay. P. Is that messed up everywhere or just there? All right, cool. All right, so let's get this section to scroll to, and then I think I'll probably wrap it up. So let's see. This is always easier to just do it in DevTools and figure out what on earth you need to do to get it working. So we got this main section. This section works. This section, I think we're going to have to go flex call. And then I think on here, we're going to want to go flex shrink 0. Down here, we're going to want to go flex 1 overflow y auto. Done. Oh, we got a little bit of gruesomeness going on here. We need a z index on this. Relative. Done. Okay. Let's get that going here. So this needed flex 1 overflow y auto. This container with the shadow needed position relative so that it sat higher in the z index. This thing needed to be flex call. And I think that was it. Yeah, all right, so here's our little inbox app. Pretty cool. We built that in, I don't know, 100 years. How long did this take? Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes? Less than 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, so that is as far as I'm gonna go because that was a lot of work. But I think this turned out pretty sweet. Like, I think if you logged into something and it looked like this, you'd feel like, wow, this is like a real app. So there you go. So I might clean it up a little bit, do like the active states and stuff. I do have more work to do on this because we're going to be including it in Tailwind UI. And you know what I'll probably do is I'll take the code for this and I'll put it on the Tailwind UI website. We have like some places where we've been putting some sneaky previews for people. So I'll send this out via the Tailwind UI like newsletter. I'll send it out this week, probably like Thursday or something. So if you want the code for this and you want to keep informed about Tailwind UI, sign up here and I'll shoot out a link with the code later this week. So that is it. Hope you learned a thing or two. Hope you enjoyed watching me export SVGs over and over and over again for 2 hours. Yeah, I'm probably going to do these more often because it's kind of fun to do. I got to do this work anyways. I might as well do it on the stream. It's not like I work any slower. So yeah, hope that was cool. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks everyone. See ya.